Yesterday, what we were doing, we were actually trying to understand this concept of optimization. Okay, and in that context, we said that depending upon the shape of the function, either optimization will imply either you are maximizing or you are minimizing. Okay, now we were talking about given our discussion, we are talking about consumer, and we were also talking about firms or manufacturers. Now, what I said is the objective function is different depending upon who you are considering. If you are considering the consumer, the objective is to maximize satisfaction. And how we are measuring satisfaction? We are measuring satisfaction using that indifference curve, where basically we are saying that higher the indifference curve, the more is the satisfaction. So that is what we discussed. Now, the problem is each and every one of us, we have a budget constraint. So given the budget constraint, the objective is to maximize our satisfaction or to reach the highest possible indifference curve. So that's how we were starting our discussion yesterday. And we also discussed that if you are, let's say, a firm, then your objective is to minimize the cost, and the cost is basically depends upon your endogenous variable. From the perspective of firms, the endogenous variables are capital and labor. So that is what I said. And from the perspective of consumer, the endogenous variable are the quantity of or the units of different goods that you are consuming. Now, we also said that whenever we are doing optimization, we are trying to do uh, the global optimization, because I showed you shape of a few functions where basically if the function is ever increasing, although you can go for local maximum, you cannot achieve the global maximum. Likewise, if the function is asymptotic to the origin, then also you will find that you will not be able to achieve the global minimum. Now, with that, we said that if I'm looking into a pure cost function, it is typically convex to the origin, and therefore we would like to minimize the cost. And if we are looking at the utility function, it is concave, and we try to maximize the utility. Now, with this as the background, and I also said that whenever we are studying anything, the idea is to understand why and what. So, why we are trying to optimize? Because at the end of the day, we want to find out the demand function for the two commodities that we were talking about, right? Because at the end of the day, we would like to talk about the demand function. Now, let's say yesterday we were talking about this two example, tea and bread, and we were actually saying that bread is equal to x1, tea is equal to x1, and bread is equal to x2. And we also say, so this is my endogenous variable, uh, and I also have my exogenous variable. Anyone, what are my exogenous variable in this case? Any volunteer?
So the price
Very
of
good.
bread will
Price
be
of tea and price of bread. Any other thing?
maybe
Some
income
budget
level.
constraint.
And income, right? So the money income function is written something like m equal to p1 x1 plus p2 x2. Now your utility, you also have utility, which is a function of x1 and x2, and your objective is to attain the maximum possible utility curve. So let's say that this is u2. So given this budget line, so this budget line is basically, so if I'm having, let's say, x1 x2 this axis, so This is my budget line, which is given by m equal to p1 x1 plus p2 x2. And as you can see that the slope will be negative, because if I'm writing this one x1, I can rewrite as uh, m over p1 minus p2 over p1 times x2. Okay, so this is basically p2 over p1. Everyone with me? Any question? So this is the slope of the function, and this part over here is what I wrote as m over p1. Okay. Now there is another element which I think Harshit was just asking, that he did not understand this concept of shadow value. Now let's assume that for some reason your money income increases. So if your money income increases, then what happens is uh, your budget line will shift parallelly upward, you know, which means now I will be able to reach a higher indifference curve, which is given by u3. Okay, so please understand the level of satisfaction that you are going to get at u3 is always higher than the level of satisfaction that you are getting at u1. So please note that when you are at u3, you are consuming, let's say that x1 double star unit and x2 double star unit. Okay, and when you were at, let's say, u1, meaning with a lower level of money income, you were actually consuming x1 single star, x2 single star. So the shadow value or the Lagrangian multiplier basically tell us that how much or in what fashion the optimum quantity of endogenous variables are going to change for a given change in my exogenous variable. Let me repeat. In what way? So in what way means, so in this case we are seeing that my optimum consumption of endogenous variable is actually changing from x1 a single star to x1 double star, which is marked in color green. Likewise, in this case we are saying that x2, the optimum unit of consumption of x2, is changing from single star to x2 double star. So how much of this endogenous variable is changing is given by the Lagrangian multiplier. So if the value of Lagrangian multiplier is, let's say, 3, basically it is going to tell you that 3 times because Lagrangian multiplier at the end of the day is going to be a scalar, so 3 times that amount of uh, original quantity of goods that you are consuming. Is it clear, Harshit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's try to start with an example so as to clear this entire thing. Let's say that I give you a demand function something like let's say we are starting with a utility function u equal to x1 square x2 square, and my money income is p1 x1 plus p2 x2. Now the question is derive the demand function for x1 and x2. Can you do it given what we did in the class? So just to understand, so x1 will be a function of what? Let's see. Anyone?
So price
Abhishek,
and
what do you think? X1 will be a function of?
Quantity, I mean, uh, एक सेकंड
थोड़ा ट्राई करो. व्हाट अबाउट यू आदर्श?
प्राइस हो जाए एक नहीं प्राइस भी होगा
So this is my endogenous variable,
कंफ्यूजिंग है
money income
money income,
and sir price per unit.
very good, P1 and as well as P2. Okay. Likewise, X2, it's a
सर
function of
प्राइस पर यूनिट कहाँ से आ सकता है सर कैन यू एक्सप्लेन एक बार
price per unit. यहाँ से आएगा. So these are by per unit price. So the basic assumption that we were discussing yesterday, that whatever money income you're getting, you're actually spending on consuming these two goods, X1 and
हाँ
X2.
ठीक है
ठीक है. So अगर मेरे को पूरा के पूरा खर्च करना है, so basically what I'm doing is P1 times X1 plus P2 times X2, पूरा के पूरा मेरा money income खर्च हो गया.
ओके
So likewise, this will also be a P1, P2. Okay. So let's try to do this. So basically my objective function is to maximize this. So let's write this as rather than writing because now I know a functional form for my U1, so or utility function. So basically let's try to rewrite this as x1 x2 square plus lambda m minus p1 x1 minus p2 x2. Okay, and we want to derive the demand function for x1 and x2. Okay, so in this case what we do, we will have three first order condition because we are maximizing. So the first is with respect to the two endogenous variables, so delta z delta x1. So this becomes, someone help me out, what will this become?
2x1
Very good, 2x1 x2
square
plus sorry minus lambda times p1, right, is equal to 0. So this is my first order condition. Okay, what is my second order second condition, second first order condition? This would be 2x1 square minus, Harshit, am I doing it correctly?
yes sir
Batao.
minus delta lambda p2
Lambda p2, this is my second first order condition, and the third first order condition would be z delta lambda is minus p1 x1 minus p2 x2 is equal to 0. So ये हम लोग का तीन फर्स्ट ऑर्डर कंडीशन हो गया. And how many unknown are there?
x1 x2 m
So basically we will be using these two equation and we'll try to solve for x1 and x2. Okay, so my object of interest is to find out the demand function for x1 and x2, where x1 is my tea, x2 is my bread. See, let me give you a few minutes just so that it sinks in. Any question, please ask.
Sir, I didn't get it.
Which part you didn't get it?
Sir, I got ये कि the thing we are taking for the Z. Can you tell me what exactly do we call this equation, that x1 square x into x2 square plus lambda m minus?
So, Vachi, what we are trying to do is we are trying to optimize with respect to, so if my utility function is like this, basically we are trying to see that how much quantity of x1 and x2 will give me to reach at the top of this hill, you know.
Yes, I got it.
So
Then,
agar if you are here, let's say if you are in this position, your marginal utility is increasing. Okay. Over here, your marginal utility from additional unit consumption of this good is falling. So basically, you will settle down here, you know. So it is like, so let me again refresh so that you will not forget. So in this case, if I am in this red color zone, basically your marginal utility to consume is greater than the price that you are paying. Okay. In this zone, your marginal utility is less than the price that you are being asked to pay. Okay. Only here, you know, because if I take the ratio of this, so this is nothing but, because this is total utility, what is marginal utility? Marginal utility is del u over del x, right? X1. If I'm looking into the marginal utility of x1, okay, so marginal utility of x1 should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0 matlab it should be equal to price. You see, if I take the ratio of these two, equation 1 and 2, what I get? I get 2x1 x2 square over 2x1 square x2 equal to P1 by P2. Basically, this is nothing but marginal utility of x1 over marginal utility of x2. So basically, it is saying that यहाँ पे only under condition when, so at this price, you will have MUX is equal to PX at the maximum condition. This is we are getting from this portion over here.
so sir, when we are maximizing and we are writing this equation 1,
So
what are we actually dividing it with? I mean, I get that the upper version is the x1 square, x2 square plus lambda wala equation. What are we dividing it with to get that 2x1, x2 square?
nahi, you mean this equation number 1?
Yes,
We're
sir.
not,
I
so
equation number 1 से पहले तक I understood everything. उसके बाद I lost it.
हाँ, so उसके बाद क्या, so let's try to understand this, what this thing is telling you, that this is my objective function, that z. Okay, what is your objective? The objective is to consume x1, forget about now x2. Okay, the objective first is to consume x1 in such a fashion that your utility, what is my utility? Utility is given by this one. I'm maximizing my utility. Okay, so how I'm maximizing my utility? I am maximizing in such a fashion that this, because when I'm actually moving in the hill, in this direction of hill, both my x1 and x2 are changing.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting what? So you see
Yes,
that
yes.
I have used this word partial differentiation. Matlab, I am first holding x2 constant. I am now just marginally increasing x1, holding x2 constant, because I cannot simultaneously change both x1 and x2, because then अगर मैं x1 change करता हूँ x2 भी change हो जाता है. ठीक है, so holding x2 constant, if I am marginally increasing x1, I will go to that point where I don't want to pay any extra price, because I feel that if I were to pay that price, my feeling is I'm paying more than the benefit, you know. So that will happen only when I reach the top of the hill. And in mathematical term, how do I know I have reached top of the hill? If I differentiate this and make it equal to 0. Why this is 0? Because the slope of the function is equal to 0 here. You see, whether we are talking about maximization or minimization, I mean the global, the slope of the function is always equal to 0. So I know that I have achieved the maximum, and therefore I am actually equating this equal to 0 with respect to x1. Likewise, holding x1 constant, I am doing the same exercise for x2. And again, I am optimizing my utility function and making it is equal to 0. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Maybe not. I can understand from your answer. So there is a book by Chiang. This is called Mathematical Economics. वहाँ in the library they have a copy, and because you are now getting access to ebook, please go to the chapter of optimization, because this is very important. Even when you graduate, you know, this is the basic of optimization you should know. I'm not going to dig deeper in terms of mathematical function or equation, but at least you should clear your intuition. And there is this book by Mathematical Economics by Alpha Chiang, Ching, Chiang, Alpha Chiang. वहां पे ये ऑप्टिमाइजेशन का चैप्टर थोड़ा पढ़ लेना. You will clearly understand what I'm trying to say. Although I'm trying to break it down to the bare minimum so that you understand. But even then, if you don't understand, please have a look at that book, and again we can discuss.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Again, the name of the book is Alpha Chiang. Okay. Any other question from anyone? Question है तो पूछ लो. Okay, now because it's got cluttered, so let me erase this and so erase this portion. Oops.
Sir, I can't see the whiteboard.
You can't see the whiteboard? What about other?
Like I was able to see before, but now I'm not able to see.
तो प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारे तरफ से है. Others can see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ये क्या रीस्टार्ट ये माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स वो हो जाएगा ठीक.
Yanga, we are waiting for you. You just do as what Harshit said. Are you able to see it? Yeah, Yagga.
Sir, I can see it now.
Okay, very good. So basically, let's start with this. So in this case, if I actually simplify this, what I get? I get x2 over x1, right, is equal to p1 over p2. So from this equation, I am getting x1 is equal to p2 over p1 times x2. Everyone on the same page? And from the third equation, I got m equal to p1 x1 plus p2 x2. So if I now, this is all about plugging and chugging, in the sense that if I now put the value of x1, what I get, m equal to p1. Now instead of x1, I am putting p2 over p1 times x2 plus p2 x2. इसका मतलब क्या है? p1 get cancelled out. So x2 is equal to how much? 2 m over 2p2. Okay, so this is my demand function for x. So I have actually derived the demand function of x2 as a function of exogenous variable, which is m and 2p2. Likewise, you can also derive the demand function of x, which is m over 2p1. You know, take this as an exercise. So at the end of the day, we have now achieved in deriving the demand function, and